I usually just refer to a cooperative as a co-op, but if you want to use the whole term, it's okay. The best way to think of a cooperative is a private business venture. And this is kind of a little bit difficult to wrap your mind about, but in a cooperative, what is the business, Jack? The business is owning the real estate. The business is owning the real estate. We don't have a lot of cooperatives here in Massachusetts. They're much more common in Manhattan, amongst other places, but Manhattan's probably the most common place for cooperatives. We have a few. I'm going to mention one of them to you, and that would be probably because I think some of you have driven by this place. It's the Meat and Fish Distributorship, which is on the expressway, the Southeast Expressway. As you head into Boston, there's that curve in the road, and just before you get to the Ted Williams Tunnel, on the right-hand side is the Meat and Fish Distributorship. You've seen it. It's called New Market. It's got those small buildings. They're short, a story or two. Little signs with silver lettering, and they are only for meat and fish distributorships. It's been rumored in the past that they're looking of selling, but not at the moment, at least. Very, prime location. It's got some complexities to it, but it's a prime location. So, the business is owning the real estate. The business is owning the real estate. So when you buy into a cooperative, you don't actually buy the real estate. Oh, what? You buy stock in the cooperative corporation, and that stock is connected to a unit lease. Oh, yeah, that's weird in a certain way, but that's how it works. So you buy stock, and then you get a unit lease. Now, let's draw a diagram of how this works, and it works like this. At a cooperative, there's only one deed for the entire property. You'll notice how this diagram looks significantly different than the condo diagram that we just did a moment ago. At a cooperative, everyone owns their slice of the pie, so to speak, in the cooperative. Like this. There we go. Here we go. Like this. And if you want to buy into a cooperative, that's great. You want to buy into some type of cooperative. They get to ask you a lot more questions. The background check will be much deeper than the type of questions that a lender could ask you. Remember, a lender can only ask you questions about your ability to pay and about the property, especially the value of the property. The lender is only restricted to these questions. However, a cooperative, they can literally interview you and ask you, I want to say, almost anything. They can ask you, like, what your favorite color is, where you go on vacation, why didn't you pay for your school lunch in third grade that one day? I mean, they can almost ask you anything. And I know, very intrusive, but you're not buying real estate. That's the one thing. You remember, you're buying stock in a company. And so basically they're interviewing you in the same way that you would interview a business partner. That's a really good way to think about it. Imagine you owned an ice cream shop and you were thinking upon taking on a business partner. Imagine you're Ben and you're thinking about interviewing people to be a partner in your ice cream shop. And you interview a whole mess of people and you're going to ask them all sorts of things. Amongst other things, you might want to find somebody that has something in common with you. And because they're going to be an owner that you can work with. And you find this guy named Jerry, and what do you know? You go on to massive success as Ben and Jerry's. Now, I don't actually know how Ben and Jerry's started, but I'm just using those names as an analogy. You're interviewing a co-owner or a business partner. That's a really good way to think about it. And you're not really buying the real estate directly, you're buying stock in a cooperative company.